So if I were to give a message to my younger self, 23-year-old, 25-year-old, young black man, fresh out of college, I would say play incremental long ball and don't look for the home run. I started off my career as a music producer since I was 15, 16 years old. Thing that I was thinking about was I got to make it big. I'm going to get a phone call one day that's going to change my life. And in those 10 years, 20 years, 18 years since that time, there hasn't been a phone call that is just like, oh, here's your big break. It's going to, change your life. It's been one thing after another that ultimately led to the success that I have now. And why I say play incremental long ball and not go for the home run is because had I focused more on building the right thing early on, I would have more assets now. Take, for example, my music career. So I was focused on trying to make one hit, one this, one that, for about 15 years. And then, nothing ever happened. I never got that big break. I never got any type of it never took off. And so when I started looking at it more as a record label, a business model, an asset, intellectual property, and digital assets, I started looking at it more of a business of how can I create digital assets. And so instead of looking at songs as these magical masterpieces, I looked at them as data points and ownership. And I grew my catalog since 2020. Since I stopped focusing on that huge hit, I started focusing more on, creating quality content, but creating volume at scale. Since 2020 to now in 2023, I've have over 750 songs published and copyrighted and distributed on all platforms. And all of that content has sold over 64 million streams. And we've made thousands of dollars off of, I've made thousands of dollars. I'm saying we, I always say we, I don't know why. But really, it's just me doing it. And I've, like I said, it's not even about the money for me as it is about having a long-term asset that is going to pay me royalties year after year after year. And every year I invest at least another 100 songs into that pile. And so playing the long game is thinking like, hey, I look at my musical portfolio as more of like a 401k. The more shares I can put into it, the greater my catalog will be. So that's one area and one aspect. The other aspect is, on the IT side of things, I tried to kind of create a course before, and I was looking at this course as like, hey, this is going to be my home run. I'm going to make one course that's going to make me millions of dollars. As I look back today, I can see where my need for having money got into the way of creating the best product for the customer that's going to give them value. And what it ended up doing was creating something that really wasn't geared towards giving the customer the best value. And it was mainly focused on helping people a little bit, but helping me by making a ton of money. And it did neither. It helped a few people, but it could have helped more. And it could have been a better product. And because of this not having the success of it, I stopped. Now I'm back at it. And my focus isn't on making money. I think money will come as a byproduct of having an excellent product that really helps people. And so what I've done now is strategically think about, first of all, what is the business that I'm in? I'm in the business of education. I'm in the business of educating people to become the best versions of themselves and helping Black people get into tech. That's my focus and that's my goal. Can I help other people get into tech? Absolutely. But I am my own customer avatar. At age 19, 23, and age 29 and 30, Those are my 4 customer avatars. I know them because they are me. I've been that person. And nowadays, people aren't going to college. And so, I thought about college and I said, well, what is it that college has over a coding boot? Well, college is well rounded. When you go into college, you pick a major, and your first year and a half, you're not doing anything related to that major. You're taking what they call general electives or general education courses that everyone has to take. Freshman seminar, orientation, a logic, a philosophy class, a biology, a science class, a mathematics class, all of these different types of things that help you, or traditionally they have to take these classes before you get to your major. So I said maybe there's some benefit to the structure of this, but what are things that actually like will be the skills that people need to do these jobs, like to be the best person that they can be, right? Communication skills. How can you truly communicate? Stress management. How do you manage stress? Productivity, time management. How do you be productive in today's world, especially if you're working remotely? How do you properly manage your time, right? And then, okay, now we'll get into the technical, pillar. And then also after you've gotten that cybersecurity education and you've got the know-how and you've built your resume and you've gone through our mock interviews in the interview process. The next question is, what do you do with the money that you're going to make? Finance. All right, how do you budget? How do you invest? How do you save for retirement? How do you go into entrepreneurship? How do you set up a business? All of these things. So I put together about 25 courses that together make up a educational program that will rival a college degree. Not in a sense where it holds the credibility, but it gives you the knowledge, the education. It gives you everything you need to go out there and be in the world and compete and to be a functioning member of society. Here's the thing. It takes me 200 hours for each course. It takes me 200 hours to build each course. 200 hours. And I've taken courses from people where I'm like, this course is crappy. Like, dude, you're eating a bagel in the middle of, and eating and drinking while you're giving the course, talking about, oh, I just got to put the course out so quickly. I just got to put it out. So now you rushed course that was poor quality. And I'm not talking negatively about people. I'm just talking facts. Like, you rush to put out a product that's poor quality. And now this is the product that is out there forever. And it's now your digital asset. And so I look at that and what I'm doing, just the way I look at creating each album. When I create an album, I want it to be the best. I want it to sound the best. I want it to, the visuals to go with it to be on point. For my business to be buttoned up, so that once I complete this album and I go back and listen to it, it stands alone and it's excellent quality. And now I can just sit on this asset for the rest of my life. And so when I look at building this course, that's what I'm doing, building quality. And so not going for the long home run, but focusing on each 200 hours times 20, right? That's how many hours that I'm putting into this, like 4,000 hours. It might take me 2 years to do all of this. And that's fine, because it might take someone it took me, I'm talking about how long it took me to graduate college. It took me 7 years to graduate undergrad. And it took me 5 years. And it took me another 2 years to finish my MBA program. So I was in school for 7 years. And so I'm trying to give people 7 years of education, right, that I've had on top of my training and things like that. You're really talking about 10 years of education in one course, in 20, in one academy with 20 courses. And so that's a noble goal, right? I'm hell bent on actually making that happen. And so a note to my younger self is to slow down, stop trying to speed through the process. Part of trusting the process is that you have to go through the process each step of the way. You can't cheat success. It's not going to happen overnight. And had I started this the first time 3 years ago, I would be done. I would be complete this portion now, and I would be moving on to another portion. But since I didn't build it right the first time, I now have to go back and rebuild it and put that energy and effort into building the quality that is needed to handle it. And so that's what I'm doing. That's where my focus is. And I'm excited about it.